Thank you, War Thunder, for sponsoring this video. You're a meat-eating, bull-headed, baby-armed dinosaur whose luscious legs would make any gym bro jealous. And in this video, we're going to go over your life as a Carnotaurus. You live on a continent freshly yeeted off Africa, where the animals are transforming in total isolation, like a late Cretaceous version of Australia. Normally, this is where we talk about your childhood, but we've never actually found a Carnotaurus egg, or a baby, or even an awkward teenage version of you, just a single adult skeleton in mint condition. But just because we didn't witness your traumatic childhood doesn't mean we're safe, because the most traumatizing thing about you is figuring out why you look like this. Try Googling it and you'll get a million different answers. Some say it was so you could hunt massive sauropods. Others say you were chasing down tiny ornithischians. So if we actually want to figure out how you lived, we've got to take you apart piece by piece. You're a Carnotaurus, part of a group called the abelisaurids. They were the top predators of the southern hemisphere, kind of like the tyrannosaurs were up north. But while tyrannosaurs were bulking up and perfecting the art of biting through bone, abelisaurids took a completely different path. For starters, your whole group split off from the rest of the theropod family tree extremely early. So early, in fact, that you're barely even related to birds. So, you're a theropod, sure, but a bird-like one? Not even close. And that's part of why you don't have feathers, as your skin is covered in non-overlapping scales, with a few larger ones called feature scales sprinkled in. But beneath all that rough skin, evolution was working on something else, or getting rid of something else. Abelisaurids were slowly shrinking their arms generation after generation. Honestly, give it a few million more years, and they might have just ditched arms altogether. But for now, you're stuck with these, the smallest arms to body ratio of any large predator. The bones were short and thick, to the point you don't even really have wrists anymore. As for your shoulders, they either give your arm no range of motion at all, stuck Naruto running for eternity, or just enough to pathetically wiggle them around. And then there's your fingers. You had 4 of them for some reason, which is even weirder because almost every other theropod only had 3. So what were your forelimbs for? Were they just totally useless? Or perhaps they served the purpose of a tiny, awkward way of signaling to a potential mate? We're still figuring it out. Really, when it comes to these arms, there's only 2 things we know for certain. The first is that they're way too short to play War Thunder, today's sponsor, which honestly might be the biggest tragedy here. War Thunder. I spent many hours on you in your army of tanks, planes, helicopters, and ships. With over 2,500 of them, all modeled with insane attention to detail, down to internal components and damage systems, it's no wonder it's the most comprehensive vehicle combat game ever made. And if you're just here for the chaos, you're covered too. War Thunder has X-ray kill cams that show you exactly how you met your demise or clutch a shot, realistic ballistics, and massive PvP battles across the land, sea, and air, and a community of over 70 million players. Whether you're in the mood for a casual dogfight, or want to sweat it out in a hyper-realistic tank sim, where you actually need to angle your armor, War Thunder's got all of it. And the best part, it's totally free on PC, consoles, and recently, even mobile devices. And if you're new or haven't played in 6 months on PC or console, you'll get a massive bonus pack just for using my link pinned in the comments or the video description. And it includes multiple premium vehicles, 100,000 silver lions, 7 days of premium account, and the exclusive Eagle of Valor vehicle decorator. It's a limited time offer, so don't wait. Grab your bonus and hop in. Please take a look if you're interested. It really does go a long way into making these videos possible. Anyway, where were we? Right. The second terrible thing about these tiny arms is the fact that they're not going to help you hunt at all, which is wild considering you're one of the largest abelisaurids ever found, coming in at over 25 feet long and nearly 2 tons. So if your arms weren't helping you reach that size, something else had to. To find out, we need to figure out what actually made you so dangerous, from your massive body to your legs. These things were long, powerful, and proportionally huge compared to the rest of your body, all traits commonly seen in pursuit predators. But your legs in particular take it a step further. They're some of the most specialized hind limbs of any large theropod, built not just for speed, but for sudden, explosive acceleration, as you can reach speeds of up to 35 miles per hour, making you one of, if not the fastest large theropod to ever live. But long legs alone wouldn't get you there. That kind of power needs something to push from. At first glance, your tail looks unremarkable. But once we take a peek under the hood, you'll see this bad boy is the foundation to everything. All non-avian dinosaurs had a muscle called the caudal femoralis, It pulled the leg backward with each step, kind of like a giant spring. In your case though, this muscle is enormous. Most theropods had hip bones shaped like a T, but yours were angled into a kind of stretched out V, opening up extra space for those tail muscles to expand. And that's not the only change. Your tailbones overlap, locking together to form a rigid beam-like structure, and this stiffness gives your legs more power with every stride. But not every change is good, as this mobility comes at the cost of your agility. Unlike most dinosaurs that swing their tails to help balance around corners, you couldn't. So if your prey makes a sharp turn, it'll likely get away, or you'll end up with a face full of dirt. These traits tell something important about your environment too. You weren't built for dodging trees or navigating dense undergrowth. Instead, your powerful legs and rigid tail suggest you thrived in open, flat areas where you can unleash your full speed and chase down prey without needing to make sudden, sharp turns. But we're still missing the other half of this puzzle. Your skull. At a glance, it already looks off, because your skull is built unlike almost every other predatory dinosaur. It's not long and slender like a raptor's, and it's not thick and massive like a tyrannosaur. Instead, it's compressed front to back and unusually tall, giving you a silhouette that looks more like a carnivorous bulldog than a classic theropod. And it was packed full of highly specialized sensory organs. Your eyes face forward, giving you binocular vision and helping you judge distance when chasing prey. But it's your sense of smell that'll help you the most. It's highly developed, allowing you to track potential food from miles away. But we can't ignore the elephant in the room. Or, the horns on your head. Because this is an adaptation that isn't seen in any other carnivorous animal ever. Which is why you look like something straight out of hell, sporting two horns just above the eyes. These horns might have served the purpose of display, perhaps covered in vibrant colors to help you attract a mate or intimidate rivals. They could also have been used in headbutting contests. Less like modern day bighorn, but more like a sumo match, with two Carnotaurus shoving and pushing against each other with their reinforced skulls and powerful legs. But if you ask me, tiny arms, horns on your head, pretty clear to me, they're a built-in back scratcher. What's more is your skeleton only shows the bony core, as these horns would have been covered in keratin, the same stuff that makes up your nails. This means their final shape could have been wildly different from the bony nubs we see today. And inside, the structure of your skull only makes things stranger. Most predators have some flex in their skulls, a little give to absorb the struggling prey, but not you. Many of your skull bones are fused solid, especially around the upper jaw and snout. Because of this, you have very little cranial kinesis, or skull flexibility, at least before we consider your lower jaw, because it's actually surprisingly flexible. With a joint in the middle, it may have even let your jaws bow outward slightly, giving you an even wider gape. It's not snake-like, but it is enough to let you snap up big chunks of meat, or even swallow animals whole. That alone hints at a very specific way of feeding, especially when you consider that your bite force isn't all that strong, at least for your size. But the full picture comes together when we look at your neck. It's extremely muscular, which points to the idea that it was built for rapid head movements, either to land quick bites, or to hit harder than your bite force alone could manage. So, with all that in mind, what was your life as a Carnotaurus? You're the Cretaceous cheetah. You're not tackling Titanosaurs, because, let's be honest, you'd get folded like a lawn chair, but they're kids? Fair game, because you're built to go after the smaller prey. But don't let that fool you into thinking you weren't terrifying, because watching how fast you can close a gap on something with a 100-foot head start is kinda nightmare fuel. But there's one thing we haven't talked about. That kind of speed isn't just great for hunting. It's also great for not dying, because while most of the predators you'll run into are smaller than you, there's one that for sure isn't. Down in southern Patagonia, there's a megaraptoran called Maip. It's 32 feet long and got claws like steak knives. If it shows up, you run. Simple as that. But if you do end up fighting him, it could go either way. Luckily though, throughout most of the continent, your species will probably be the largest, which means you're your own worst enemy. You'll fight your own species over territory, and of course, the ladies. But if you manage to win enough of these brawls, maybe you'll pass down your genes. But this all changes when one day you spot a small ornithischian. It's like any other, except this one's fast. Like really fast. So you have no choice but to go faster. And now you know why we don't have any other Carnotaurus fossils. You've gone so fast you've broken the fourth wall. Well, thank you so much for watching. Please like and comment if you like videos like these. I told you guys in the last video that I'd be reading all the comments, and for this one I'm going to be doing the exact same thing. I don't know if this is a good thing or a bad thing, but the quickest I responded to someone's comment in the last video was like 22 seconds. So who knows, maybe with this video we can get to like 12 seconds. And don't forget about War Thunder. Thank you for sponsoring this video and making educational videos like this possible. Don't forget to play it for free on PC, PlayStation, Xbox, or mobile right now by using my link pinned in the comments or video description. Go sign up and get your bonus. And as always, Jehona out.